You're watching ABC7 News at 5.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us. Jacqueline has a night off. First tonight, the Sarasota County School Superintendent unveils a 5-point plan for the future of school safety. It starts as early as April 2nd when students return from spring break. ABC7's Taylor Torregano took a closer look at the plan and talked to parents, a principal, and teachers about what they think. And she joins us live tonight from Philippi Shores Elementary School with more. Taylor?
Good evening, Scott. The first of the 5-point plan will put an off-duty officer at every one of these elementary schools in the district for the rest of this year. And today, parents and staff tell me they'll feel a lot safer with one around. Locked gates surround the Philippi Shores campus, keeping intruders from the children at play.
One thing that we have here is our campus is secure. The main entrance is the only way to access school during the school day.
It's one of the safety measures Superintendent Todd Bowden says every school in the district will soon have. $25 million will enhance the physical safety of all of the campuses. And after this year, a new school resource deputy program will be implemented too, putting a permanent armed guard in every campus from elementary to high school.
When you have that presence of somebody in authority that knows how to handle a situation, it's huge.
The school district says it's still working with the sheriff's office to determine the details of this program, including if the guards will be off-duty, retired, or newly trained officers. And in addition to that program, the superintendent is also exploring another school guardian program that would allow certain school employees to be armed too.
It would be non-classroom personnel. Typically, it would be our school security monitors. They're individuals who do not have classroom responsibilities, but they circulate our campus. We have a number of those individuals who have a law enforcement background, and I think they would be prime candidates for our school guardian program.
And as they make these decisions, parents say they just hope the board continues to keep the students' best interest at heart. And the district says it's working on dates to be able to sit down with the sheriff's office to discuss these details. And coming up at 6, hear from the perspective of a parent with a child who goes here. I'm live at Philippi Shores Elementary School. Taylor Torregano, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Taylor, thank you so much. More drama unfolds within the Manatee County School Board. Now, one member is calling for a re-election of the board's chair and vice chair following a dispute in the parking lot that ended up in the hands of law enforcement. At a meeting that was supposed to be focused on a termination hearing for a school bus driver, board member Charlie Kennedy added an unexpected item to the agenda to re-elect a new chair and vice chair. The motion comes after board chair Scott Hopes and board member Dave Miner got into an argument in the district parking lot following the meeting. The dispute escalated, Hopes claiming that Miner tried to run him over with his car, then mentioning a gun in his car to police, which then investigated.
This is about, in a time of heightened awareness and fear, it was just the wrong time to reference a firearm on school board property. That's all this breaks down to.
I am more than offended by the basis with which you're making the motion. Sergeant Donnelly was present when I immediately went to him. He knew the fear that I was exposed to.
After arguing about the re-election for 2.5 hours, the board tabled the issue until the next meeting, April 10th. The termination hearing for bus driver Jerome Heaven was also postponed because his witnesses had to leave the meeting. His hearing was scheduled to start at 9:30, but because of the re-election talk, he did not take the podium until afternoon. That is also rescheduled for April 10th. All right, let's get a check on our weather today with meteorologist Steve Newman, who's in for Bob tonight. And what a gorgeous day on the Suncoast, Steve.
Oh, if you like today, wait till you get to tomorrow and Sunday. It's going to be a little bit warmer, still dry tomorrow, but we're going to slowly see the moisture come up, which is a good thing. We have a very high fire danger, which we'll talk about more a little later on the broadcast. Clear skies. I think we're seeing a smoke plume here coming off of Collier County around Marco Island there. Other than that, hardly anything to be seen in the state. We do have radar sweeping under full range and no precipitation to be seen anywhere for hundreds of miles. And the winds are slowly dying down. You can see only about 8, 9, 10 miles an hour on average across Manatee and northern Sarasota County. Charlotte County and southern Sarasota, again, pretty much 8, 9, 10 miles per hour, and that's a good thing. It's been a little dry, and the wind has been increasing the fire danger as well. Not as cool tonight, with low temperatures slowly cooling off, but it's not going to be in the 40s anymore. I think we're over for the season. My neck's out there. No more 40s right on through the spring until next fall or next winter, as I think things are going to change and things are going to get warmer and warmer. But for night, our low temperature will be pretty close to 50 degrees, cooling off through the 60s through the evening hour. Our complete weather coming up in just a few minutes. Scott?
All right, Steve, thank you. A man high on spice injured Sarasota police officers during an arrest. Officers called to Gore Court to help with an ill and violent patient. Police say Chad Washington then began punching and biting the officers. Police say Washington was in possession of the drug ecstasy and was under the influence of spice. He was charged with 3 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer and possession of a controlled substance. One officer was treated and released from Sarasota Memorial Hospital. The other was treated at the scene. In just a little more than a week, a new man will be heading the Northport Police Department on a temporary basis. A longtime member of the police force, Chris Morales, has just been named interim chief. ABC7's Rick Adams has the story.
Well, here in Northport, the nationwide search continues for a permanent police chief. In the meantime, an interim police chief has just been named. This is Northport Police Captain Chris Morales. Starting on April 1st, he's going to have a new title, interim chief.
I'm very humble and gracious that they have the trust and confidence in me to keep the, I should say, the ship steering straight until we find such a new chief to take our position.
Morales takes over for Police Chief Kevin Vespia, who is retiring on March 31st to spend more time with his family. Vespia was at the helm for 7 years. He tells us Morales is the perfect choice to lead the department while they search for a permanent chief.
I've worked with him for many years, and he's well qualified for the position. And I think I prepared him eventually for this position. So I think it'll be an easy transition, not only for him, but for the department as a whole.
Morales has been with the Northport Police Department for 18 years and also with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office as a corrections deputy. The lifelong resident of Northport says he's looking forward to leading the department over the next couple of months in a city he loves.
I know a lot of people here, and getting out into the community and seeing them, to me, that's important. And I love giving back and making that difference.
Just recently, the city manager decided not to move ahead with any of the final 4 candidates for police chief, so the city is now starting from scratch with their nationwide search. Also, earlier this week, the assistant police chief was placed on paid administrative leave after a complaint was filed for an undisclosed reason. And it will still be a little while longer until a new permanent police chief is in place here. We're being told it could take up to at least 6 months. Reporting from Northport, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Rick, thank you. More news from Northport. The city's vice mayor making an announcement today. Linda Yates says she will be running for State House District 74. That district includes the cities of Northport and Venice, as well as Englewood, Nokomis, and South Sarasota County. The District 74 seat will be coming open because Representative Julio Gonzalez is pursuing a run for U.S. Congress.
I am a Republican and very conservative in my principles, and I have a lot of success stories in the city of Northport with my due diligence and looking out for the people and speaking up and being that voice.
Yates' term with the City Commission will expire in November, so she says it's perfect timing for the opportunity to run for this seat. Several others are also running for that District 74 seat. A big day of planning for the new Venice Police Department. The new building will be on East Venice Avenue across from the Gondola Park Drive. Today, officers and builders met to discuss plans for that new building. It's expected to be completed in about 2 years. Still to come in your Suncoast News, why President Trump was threatening to veto the spending bill that would avoid a government shutdown. And we'll get back to meteorologist Steve Newman, who will check your first alert forecast for the upcoming weekend, and how a local organization is preparing to head to Washington to voice its concerns on gun violence and school safety.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
I actually started playing the game at 11 years old, so I started a little bit later than most players. But I was actually raised on Fighting Joe. The value here at Robert Trent Jones is unsurpassable. I mean, I have looked to other places. I've traveled all the way across the country. Everything is perfect as far as everything is the golf course, the rolling of the greens. Everything that I've encountered has just been absolutely incredible. And for the money that you spend, for the value that you actually get, it is unsurpassable. I'd recommend it for anybody.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
President Trump threw his own staff and Washington into a tailspin with a tweet. Late last night, the Senate passed a $1.3 trillion spending plan to fund the government for the next 6 months. But this morning, President Trump tweeted he might not sign the bill, writing, quote, "I am considering a veto of the omnibus spending bill based on the fact that the 800,000 plus DACA recipients have been totally abandoned by the Democrats, not even mentioned in the bill, and the border wall, which is desperately needed for our national defense, is not fully funded." But just yesterday, the White House budget director pressed Congress to pass this bill.
Let's cut right to the chase. Is the president going to sign the bill? The answer is yes. Why? Because it funds his priorities.
This latest scramble comes less than 24 hours after President Trump announced his new national security advisor, John Bolton, without giving him a heads up. Despite his threat, the president did sign the bill, and the government will not shut down at midnight. Saturday, hundreds of thousands of students are taking their fight for gun reform to the nation's capital in the March for Our Lives. With hundreds of satellite marches across the country, organizers think more than 1 million people will be participating. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
Students from across the country are making their way to Washington, D.C.
On Saturday, I am marching for our lives.
Bullets do not discriminate.
From Ohio.
This is our time. If they can't do it, then we'll do it.
Minnesota.
We're tired of dying. And it's kind of a scary, simple statement that a lot of people feel.
Missouri.
I want people to be able to go out and speak out for what they believe is right.
And the place that's serving as the beating heart of this nationwide movement, Parkland, Florida.
It's meant to galvanize the community and to inspire them and to motivate them.
Just 5 weeks after that deadly shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School took 17 lives, these students are vocal and determined.
It's been 5 weeks. Until this is actually solved, it doesn't mean much to me.
Organizers expect more than 500,000 people in D.C., including a long list of celebrities like Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, and Jennifer Hudson. The students say they hope all of this attention will call lawmakers to action.
I really want to see some legislation change.
And they say their mission behind Saturday's march remains the same, to pass tougher gun laws and to make schools safer. March for Our Lives released this map that shows just the sheer number of satellite marches happening over the weekend, hundreds across the country and even around the world. And now many companies are jumping in to help kids get there. MTV has partnered with the NAACP to charter buses, and the New England Patriots is even loaning out their team jet. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
And some of Sarasota's very own are participating in the March for Our Lives rallies tomorrow. The Sarasota chapter of Girls Inc. taking several girls to Washington for the march. Julie Sullivan, the Chief Operating Officer of Girls Inc. Sarasota, says gun violence and school safety is their top priority, concern, and reason for their visit to Washington. She says Girls Inc. inspires girls to be strong, smart, and bold, and the students of Parkland are the modern-day example of that.
The march is on Saturday, but the movement will not be done after Saturday. I think this is going to continue until we're on our way, but we have only taken baby steps, so there's a long way to go. So it's going to keep going until we get to where we need to be.
Sullivan and her girls will be boarding a plane tonight to head to Washington, and we'll be covering the march here on the Suncoast and following all the events happening in Washington as well throughout the day tomorrow.
Weather's going to be great. If you're in Bradenton, Sarasota, I think there's one at Lakewood Ranch as well. No matter what you're doing outside this weekend, the weather's going to be near perfect. Let's take a look at the weather today. The surf is down a little bit. That's a good thing. The winds have calmed down a little bit. All in all, lots of sunshine. A slow warming trend set in today that is going to make it just about perfect for Saturday and Sunday. I want to thank our viewers for sending in pics to pics@mysuncoast.com. This is Sarasota Bay at sunset last night. Thanks, Sam Frazone, for that beautiful picture. Just awesome. And my colleague and good friend Ray Collins sent this picture from yesterday's game at Ed Smith Stadium. And I want to thank Lee and Chung for sending this beautiful sunset picture at the Pirates game up in Bradenton last night. You can see those beautiful contrails and clouds at sunset. They'll be around again tonight. Currently at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, the temperature is 71 degrees, the dew point down there 39 degrees, humidity 31%, extreme fire danger. And all in all, through the weekend, as southerly winds kick in, the humidity will go up, so the fire danger will go down. Look at the dew points across the state right now. 31 at Orlando, Tampa at 34. Only along the coast, thanks to the Gulf water kind of steaming up with some moisture, is it in the 40s, upper 20s and 30s across our viewing area. And because of this extended period of dry weather, the National Weather Service has issued a fire weather warning effect until 9 o'clock tonight. It'll still be dry and somewhat dangerous tomorrow, so be very careful with your cigarettes, cigars, or whatever you're doing outside, because a fire could get sparked and just get out of control. Even with winds calming down, and you can see with clear skies now. Mentioned earlier, I thought there was a fire down here. It looks like there may be some agricultural burning going on right off the trail just to the northeast of Marco Island. This is the Picayune Strand National Forest. Google Maps is a wonderful thing, by the way. So it's hopefully that fire is not spreading westward into that forest area. Now across the country, that dip in the jet stream is migrating eastward. The cool air with it is moving offshore. High pressure building inside the country, bringing in milder temperatures, and another front's getting ready to bring in more rain for California. All in all, it's warming up from coast to coast. Look at this, 47 at New York City at this hour. Chicago coming in with 41, Dallas 75. We're seeing some 90s in some of these brightest spots here in West Texas and down in Mexico. Here are the weather headlines for the weekend ahead. It's not going to be as cold tonight, dipping in the 40s. 50 on average for the low temperature, and it'll be warmer this weekend, and we still have that high fire danger, but it's going to ease up day by day, especially on Sunday as the humidity goes up more then. And here's why the humidity is going to go up. High pressure right now to the north of us. As it comes south over us, the winds become calm, and then they'll switch to a southerly direction on Saturday and into Sunday, bringing in warm air from the Caribbean right over Florida and stays with us for several days. This front is not going to get us. There's another front coming by next Wednesday or Thursday out west that will cool our overnight lows, but it's really not going to do much for daytime highs. I think we've had our last breath of winter across the Sun Coast. Winds will be in the east in the morning, southeast in the afternoon tomorrow. 2-foot seas, light chop on bay and inland waters. Beach temperature 75. That's what I'm talking about. That's more like it. Water temperature warming up, maybe in the low 70s by Sunday. UV index very high, though. Make sure you use your sunscreen. Here's my forecast for tonight. It'll be mostly clear and cool with a low temperature 50. No more 40s for a while, I don't think. And for tomorrow, a beautiful day. Sunny skies and warmer, high 77. And that is right on the money for normal. Very light southerly winds. 5 to 10, bringing in more humidity and easing up that fire danger. Where's your 7-day outlook? And it's, again, pretty boring, but a nice kind of boring at that. Mild on Saturday and Sunday. I mean, if you do not like this weekend, I don't know what it would take to make you happy, because humidities will be relatively low. Temperatures right where we should be this time of year. As I mentioned, a cool front does come through on Tuesday, but it just knocks our overnight temperatures down a few degrees on Wednesday and Thursday morning. The daytime highs stay right in the low 80s, just a tad above normal for this time of year. And that's your weather, Scott.
All right, Steve, thank you. Now to First Alert Traffic, and the I-75 is not where you want to be tonight. An accident in the northbound lanes of the 75 interstate causing major delays stretching from Venice all the way north into the Palmetto area of Manatee County. Southbound lanes are congestion in areas as well. Avoid the interstate if you can this evening. In health news this evening, exercise is important for your health. We know that, but do you have to do it all at once? New research may surprise you. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos with the details.
A healthy amount of exercise may be easier than you think, according to new research from Duke University. In a study of nearly 5,000 adults from 2003 to 2006, physical activity was tracked using a wearable fitness device. They were looking at moderate to vigorous movement and at whether that exercise lasted under 5 minutes, which they termed sporadic, or longer, which they called continuous. After following their health for 6 years, a surprising conclusion: it didn't seem to matter whether exercise came in short bursts or longer bouts. The health benefits were similar. So it doesn't matter how you get there, as long as your moderate to vigorous exercise adds up to the recommended 150 minutes a week, you win. With this Medical Minute, I'm Stephanie Ramos for ABC News.
Flu season is winding down, but the latest report from the CDC says that B viruses are being reported more frequently than the A strain that had been dominant recently. During the week ending March 17th, nearly 58% of all confirmed cases of the flu were caused by the B strain. A CDC spokeswoman says the B strain flu viruses tend to be more severe for younger children. Experts say it's possible for those who've already been sick with the flu to fall ill again with a different strain later in the season. They recommend everyone who is unvaccinated to get a flu shot while strains are still circulating. Coming up, a giant dinosaur at a theme park is now extinct after that big fire you see there, and how some heroic neighbors saved a man's life when he crashed his car on a flooded street. Stay with us.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today, and named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7.
I had a call with President Putin and congratulated him on the victory, his electoral victory.
President Trump congratulating Putin. Facebook interference. Is Trump going to fire the special counsel, and why is he trading jabs with a former vice president? I'm Alan Cohn. No punches thrown here, so meet me at the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
A life-size animatronic T-Rex at a dinosaur theme park in Colorado burst into flames. The co-owner says the T-Rex at the Royal Gorge Dinosaur Experience smoldered for about 10 minutes before it caught fire Thursday morning. Visitors watched as the inferno spread through the 24-foot tall replica dinosaur. Reynolds says it was a total loss, but he hopes to have a replacement T-Rex installed by the summer. A tractor-trailer jackknifes on a curve in Simpsonville, South Carolina, and runs into a special needs school bus. Look at that, terrifying. The collision was captured by the school bus's dash cam. 4 students were on board and a power line landed on the vehicle. Parents are calling the bus driver a true hero after she comforted the children until help arrived. A driver washed away in his car while trying to cross a flooded road in California. He feared he wasn't going to make it, but some good Samaritans rushed in to save him. Neighbors say Margarito Martinez, a local gardener, drove over rushing water, flipped over several times, and was trapped inside. That nightmare could have turned deadly in this flow of mud and debris, but a loss of a car for a gardener who carries his tools inside is devastating. So a neighbor bought him a new vehicle.
He's been around here for like a little over 20 years. He helps all of us. He helped takes care of my place, my property. I mean, you know, he's worth it. He's a good person.
Martinez says he thought he was going to die and is thankful for the members of the community who rushed in to save him. Still to come in your Suncoast News, in the midst of a building boom in Sarasota, affordable housing still very hard to find. How experts are partnering with local organizations to provide affordable options for living in the area. We'll be right back.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in an accident, whether or not it's your fault, your insurance company might be responsible for some of your expenses. So give us a call. We've got your back.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Zupan, part of the U.S. Paralympic rugby team. In my game, movement is everything. I get frustrated when my move is blocked, especially when that guy has no right to be there, even just for a minute. I love a challenge, but I don't like to play this game every day.
A message from the United Spinal Association.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC7 to get breaking news, plus first alert, weather, and traffic focused on where you live. ABC7, we're here for you.